There are reports of a Venezuelan incursion into Guyana's territory based on news coming out of Georgetown and international news agencies. A Venezuelan Coast Guard patrol vessel entered Guyanese waters on Saturday. The patrol boat approached an outpost vessel in an offshore oil block managed by ExxonMobil. This story is still developing, but we will dig into what we know so far after this. You're watching The Final Takeaway, where we bring you an exclusive look at news in and about Guyana and neighboring regions. We don't just report the news, we ask provocative questions, seek answers, and provide opinions. Subscribe today, it's free, and do share the videos on your social media to help us grow our audience. Thank you, and thanks for staying with us. In a statement on Saturday, the president of Guyana, Irfan Ali, announced that a patrol boat belonging to Venezuela passed near several oil storage vessels. Ali says these assets are located in Guyana's exclusive water. He refers to the incident as an incursion and a matter of grave concern. Ali further states that, quote, Guyana's maritime boundaries are recognized under international law. This is a serious development concerning our nation's maritime territory. We will not tolerate threats to territorial integrity. Ali plans to report the incident to the ICJ, that's the International Court of Justice, and international stakeholders. So far, the U.S. has come out and condemned the brazen entry by the Venezuelan patrol vessel into Guyana's sovereign territory. A social media post by the U.S. Department of State on the X platform reads, quote, Venezuelan naval vessels threatening ExxonMobil's floating production, storage, and offloading FPSO unit is unacceptable and a clear violation of Guyana's internationally recognized maritime territory. Further provocation will result in consequences for the Maduro regime. The United States reaffirms its support for Guyana's territorial integrity and the 1899 Arbitral Award. The Venezuelan government is denying the reports and is instead claiming the area where the vessel was located is not a part of Guyanese territory. The Spanish-speaking country says it's a disputed area and that the boundaries are yet to be decided under international law. This statement by Venezuela is not accurate based on the Arbitral Award of 1899, but we'll get into that a little later on. The Venezuelan government responded saying, quote, Irfan Ali is blatantly lying when he states that units of the Venezuelan Navy are violating Guyana's territory. This is according to Reuters, an international news agency. Venezuelan President Delcy Rodriguez doubled down and said Ali is, quote, telling bold-faced lies, and also accused ExxonMobil of illegally drilling for oil in Guyana. Okay, so it looks like Venezuela wants to play mind games, okay, by asserting itself in parts of Guyana's waters, by claiming those areas do not belong to Guyana. Some news agencies and Venezuela often say things like the area is in dispute. Let's be clear, Venezuela is the only real entity claiming a dispute over the Guyana-Venezuela border close to Essequibo. The maritime boundaries between Guyana and Venezuela were drawn and established over a century ago. The 1899 Arbitral Award is the official document that defined the boundaries between the two South American nations. Entering Guyanese territory is a violation of the 1899 Arbitral Award and pretty much a maritime law violation. Do you think the Maduro regime would play these dangerous head games with other South American countries it shares a border with, like Brazil. Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, is not going to mess with Lula da Silva, and like I said, any other South American country Venezuela shares a border with. As the Guyanese saying goes, monkey know which limb for jump on. Venezuela is flirting with a rude awakening as it continues to disrespect Guyana, the military, and the Guyanese people. A 2023 judgment by the International Court of Justice warned Venezuela about doing anything that can stir up strife with Guyana. Of course, Venezuela does not respect or follow the ICJ, its decisions, or its warnings. Instead, Venezuela wants to force Guyana to use the 1966 Geneva Agreement to resolve its disagreement over the boundary lines. Let's be clear, it's Venezuela, not Guyana, that disagrees with the territorial boundaries. It is Venezuela that is not accepting the decision of the 1899 arbitral award and further decisions by the International Court of Justice. Besides, the time frame for resolution under the Geneva Agreement has long expired. According to the said agreement, the International Court of Justice will have the power to decide on the merits of Venezuela's claims after the time frame expires. And again, the ICJ is not going to be deciding whether or not Venezuela has rightful ownership of Essequibo and the maritime areas. That has already been decided in 1899. They just have to look at the, complaints, the arguments by Venezuela as to why they are saying the 1899 arbitral award was a decision that can't stand up in court. However, the Maduro regime continues to do things to irritate the already tense situation. For example, days following the 2023 ICJ warnings, President Nicolas Maduro called a referendum seeking approval from Venezuelans to seize Essequibo. Next, he added Essequibo to the Venezuelan map and called it a Venezuelan state named Guyana Essequiba. That was not enough. Maduro passed a law in April of 2024, making his plans to invade and seize Essequibo official. Guyanese are asking, when will this blatant disrespect towards Guyana end? Guyana is a sovereign and independent country, not a Venezuelan territory or a colony, or any part of Guyana is not Venezuelan territory according to international law. But as I've stated, Maduro has an axe to grind and a point to make. And speaking of disrespect, I did a video yesterday on the shooting of 6 Guyana Defense Force soldiers, allegedly by Las Claritas Sindicato. If you don't know, Las Claritas Sindicato, also known as Wanchos Sindicato, is a notorious and deadly gang associated with Venezuela. Members of the gang allegedly shot and wounded 6 GDF soldiers just about 2 weeks ago. Based on unconfirmed reports, at least 3 of the gang members lost their lives in the crossfire. Interestingly, there were reports out of Caracas that the alleged gang members were receiving medical treatment in Venezuela. The country also refuses to condemn the brazen attack on Guyanese soldiers. Instead, Venezuela accused Guyana of attacking its citizens. Someone needs to make this make sense. Maybe it's not surprising, since based on investigations, the Venezuelan gang operates with assistance from within the Venezuelan government, allegedly. And as I've said, Maduro is playing the manipulation game, and it's a dangerous game to play. I think Venezuela underestimates its opponent and will come in for a rude awakening. Just give it some time. That's all for now. Feel free to share your views in the comment section below. Subscribe, hit the notification bell to be updated every time I post a video, and share this videos or our other videos on your social media platforms. Let's meet again soon on the final takeaway.